Good morning, dear students. Today we will continue with our chapter Types of Government. As yesterday we have discussed the different types of government which are there, and today we are going to deal with democracy in detail. So, first of all, we should understand what is democracy. Democracy is the most popular form of government today. You all know it is in India also. It is the most popular as the supreme power lies with the common people who cast votes to elect representatives of their choice through elections. This is democracy. Now, the person who gets the maximum number of votes is the winner. You must have seen elections where your parents go for voting. After that, countings are done, and the one who gets the maximum becomes the leader of our particular area. Likewise, state. See, many leaders are chosen through elections and then they become the decision makers who run the country. Run the country means govern the country rules and laws. See, Abraham Lincoln, he was defined democracy as the government of the people, by the people, and for the people. He said that democracy means it is our government as it comprises people of our choice. The government has come to power because we voted for the leaders and now they will work for the common people. Common people means we, the human beings of that particular, we, the individuals of that particular area or country for whom they are going to work, the leaders whom we have chosen. A democratic government makes the common man all powerful because if the representatives don't work, then they choose someone else in the next election. That is what happens. You have seen, you must have heard it in the news or in the news papers, or you must have heard your parents talking about. Right. Now, in democracy, there are different types of democracy also. Now, what democracy different types can be there? See, democracy is also having two types. First one is the direct and the second is the representative. Now, what is direct democracy? People make laws and policies by which they are governed. This form is suitable for a country with a small population, where the number of people are small or the country is a very small country. The other form is the representative democracy, in which elected representatives run the government. And in this type of government, the leaders chosen by us become members of a body that is called the legislature. Now, members of the body means the committee who are going to govern or monitor the things in that area. And India, our country is India, and this is the best example of representative democracy where for a particular area one leader we select, for another particular area a leader is selected. Same way there are different states in our country. In every state different leaders or different government you can see, and all the state governments assist the central government for completing the work. Right, the levels of government which we have seen yesterday, where we see that within the country central government plays important role and when it comes inside a state, the state government has the control. Inside the state, when we are taking about a particular district or an area, the local government becomes active there. Okay. Now, coming to the types of democratic forms of government. In a representative type of government, democracy, what we have two main forms of government called the parliamentary form of government. Second is the presidential form of government. Now, these are the two different forms of government, and the difference is based on the relation between legislative and executive branch of the government. Now, parliamentary form of government, in the parliamentary form of government, there are two heads. Heads means the one who is ruling. Head means the one who is ruling. The head of the government is the prime minister, who is directly elected by the people as the member of parliament. And the second is the president, the head of the state, who is indirectly elected. He or she is not elected by the citizens, as is the case with the post of the prime minister. In India also, for elections are happening for the post of prime minister, where we or your means we means the common people, the individual, where you see your parents are going for voting and electing, whereas for the president no such elections are done. The president is elected through an electoral college made up of the elected representatives who are members of parliament. Members of parliament elect the president. Now, it is called indirect because our chosen representatives vote for him instead of us. We choose our leaders vote for that particular person to become president. That's why this is called as indirect chosen representative. Now, in the parliamentary form of government, the executive is a part of the legislative branch. The head of the state, that is the president, who is not the head of the government. The head of the government, that means the prime minister, is the leader of the majority party and controls the executive. Right? And here in our country, India, we follow this form of government, which the parliamentary form of government we follow. The executive is a part of the legislative branch, and the head of the state, that means the head of the country, is the president, who is not the head of the government. Though he is the head of the country, but the government is under the hands of the prime minister, who is the leader of the majority winning party. The party who gets more of votes, the leader of that party becomes the prime minister. Second one is the presidential form of government. Now, what is presidential form of government? The legislature and executive are separate. Legislature and the executives are separate. The president, chosen independently for a fixed tenure, is not responsible to the parliament. The president is the real head of the state and enjoys more power. The president is only the policy maker and the legislature is the lawmaker. The executive, legislature and judiciary are separate. The president is all powerful. He or she is not responsible to the legislature and the electorate. He or she appoints his or her own team members or cabinet. Team members or cabinet means their own group of people who will be responsible for different departments, who are not the members of the legislature or parliament. They are those group members, they are not from the parliament. The president is elected for a fixed term and can only be removed through a difficult procedure called impeachment. In this manner, the presidential form of government works. Now, in democracy, who all are having the authority or the rights to vote? Your parents, you have seen, if you have grandparents at home, you must have seen them also going for voting, or any Didi Bhaiya living nearby you, they also go for voting. The reason is that every individual who is above 18 years of age in the area is eligible to vote. Now, citizens of India in our country, the people who are 18 years or more, they all are having the rights to vote for the representative of their own choice. Nobody can force to vote a particular person. They have their own rights to choose the representatives. For casting vote during elections, it is important that their name should be included in the voters list that contains names of people who can vote. Voter list, you must have seen, few days before the election, one person comes and gives a small chit to those particular one whose names he is having in his hand. So the list which he has in his hand is the voter list, and the names which are there in the list have the right for voting. Now, since all citizens are equal irrespective of caste, creed, religion, or economic conditions and are given the equal right to vote, we call it universal adult franchise. Now, this is the best example of equality. People can be of any caste, any creed, any economical condition, any religion. They all have the right to vote in the elections. Now, writing in the journal, writing in the journal Young India in 1931, Gandhiji said, I cannot possibly hear the idea that a man who has got wealth should get the vote, but a man who has got character but no wealth or literacy should have no vote, or that a man who honestly works by the sweat of his brow day in and day out should not have the vote for the crime of being a poor man. See, students, in the earliest form of franchising, only educated or those who paid taxes were granted the right to vote. But this implied that women and the uneducated did not enjoy this right. In India, too, before independence, a limited minority decided the fate of the vast majority. The right to vote was not granted to women for a very long time. However, our constitution framers realized the importance of equality. Equality means the political equality for smooth functioning of democracy, and granted the right to vote to all adult citizens of the country. Means earlier it was not the right of everyone to vote, but the constitution, when it came in practice, understood the equality and have given right to everyone for voting. So this is all about our chapter democracy, types of government, especially democracy. In our next class, we will continue with the chapter. Thank you.